Hey, Tracy Lewis from Stuff and Things. I have officially finished all of my Christmas cards, but now there's still a lot of work left before they're ready to send, and I thought I would do a quick video of the different things that I do to fully prepare a Christmas card to be sent. And this same rule, the rules can apply to any card. So first off, once a card is made, I don't generally work on the inside of the card at the time that I do the front. So I leave the cards empty inside until it's time to send them. And so in the case of the Christmas cards, it's a pretty short period of time. So here's a card. You probably saw it. It's one of my paper pumpkin cards. And this is what I consider a completed inside of a Christmas card. I don't necessarily doodle like I do on the envelopes, as you will see. So I try to do 2 or more colors. Because I do sell my cards per the angel policy that Stampin' Up has, I have to use a copyright. I use the copyright from this stamp set. There are actually 2 stamp sets currently in the catalog. It actually has the copyright here, copyright Stampin' Up. And if you're not selling your cards, you don't have to worry about adding the copyright. It is specifically for handmade craft work and other projects produced to be sold. So that takes care of how I sign the back of my cards. I used to, before I was a demonstrator, had a different way that I signed, and now that I am a demonstrator, I have added the copyright per their angel policy. So that takes care of that. Envelopes, I have a variety of envelopes. I did make them to match. This envelope has snowflakes, some flurries, some swirls. This style with the sprig is from the November paper pumpkin, and I did a whole bunch of these. This is actually in the vanilla cardstock with the lining, so it matches. I only had 10 of those, so I've done a whole bunch of envelopes that don't have the liner and are white. So on an envelope, and to prepare a card to be sent, I have learned that if you have bumpy items like rhinestones or pearls, in this case, this is a good example of a bumpy item on this card that needs to be protected or it will ruin the envelope. It also will make the card non-machinable, so when I put it in the envelope, I will add this protection to it. My husband cut these out from used envelopes for packages we receive. It's just bubble wrap. So I always have a collection of them. Because I have had enough cards returned to me for more postage, which, because I travel full-time, the address that I use on the return goes all the way back to Washington State, and it can be many weeks before I will receive a card that says more postage required. So what I have been doing is I bought these stamps. You can either buy additional ounce stamps or specific stamps that say non-machinable. I'm going to use this neutral stamp on my Christmas cards. I also have butterflies that are not a holiday theme, so those I won't be using. So make sure you have, if you're going to have many layers and you're going to have bumps, to go ahead and prepare yourself with the bubble wrap layer and additional ounce. So on the envelopes, I have created a sample. I like to decorate the back and the front left corner. I also did a fake addressing to show you how I use the metallics. I have an array of metallic pens, pretty much just gold, silver, bronze, and copper. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these pens. I use Jelly Roll. I buy them one at a time versus in a package. I used to have the package, and there were many colors that I didn't use. So when I was rebuilding my craft supplies, I went ahead and bought just the specific colors that I would use, and that means that I have actually 5 colors, because I also have a clear here. This is a clear that looks very similar to the Wink of Stella, and then I also have the Wink of Stella brush from Stampin' Up as well. And then I have white. So these are my metallics that I use, and this is an example of me using the gold. I even didn't finish this one. I wanted to add another place where I like is putting round balls in between the address areas. So I like to use a lot of space so that I can go ahead and dress up the addresses as well. I think I have 28 cards that I have to send out. I do them in stages. I do the card fronts. If they're not on bases, I put them on bases. Then I decorate the inside and the back. And now I'm on the final stage, which is getting all the envelopes prepped. And then the very last part for me with a card is adding a note to the recipient. I tend to like to add personal notes. I know some people just do the cards and just put their name at the bottom, and that works too. I actually let my husband do his family's cards, and I do my family's cards, and then we also split our friends. I handle my friends and he does his friends. So hopefully you found this helpful for this year's gift giving. Another thing or card giving, another thing to note is to make sure that your card is no heavier than 1 ounce, and that it is no thicker than 1/4 of an inch. And if you doubt at all either of those, you can I use a food scale that I bought to test the weight, and most of my cards after I get done with all my layers are 0.9, so it's not as hard as you think to be over 1 ounce. So if you're at all unsure, go to the post office with your cards and have them all tested. They will also do the thickness test to make sure that they're thinner than the 1/4 of an inch. However, if it is going to be hand stamped and not machined, because you have the extra postage on there, the 1/4 inch thick rule is for the machined cards to go through. Hopefully you found this helpful, and good luck getting your Christmas cards finished and mailed. Thanks for watching.